What are they afraid of? What kinds of things make them feel safe? And some of those things are these very conversations. We wouldn't think as adults necessarily that opening these doors for kids is going to do anything to help them necessarily, because we can't fix it. We can't fix the situation. And I know for myself, I've had that exact same instinct with my own daughter, like I cannot fix this for her. But I underestimate sometimes what it's like to ask her how she's doing, and that I can see a little bit of relief checking in and saying, just thinking about you. What are you worried about? And can we do things together? Can we exercise and do sort of silly video things together? Can we do art projects together? Can we look over pictures of, growing up and family life and people we miss? And can we look at those together? Can we do special projects that help kids feel like they have the time and attention of their family members? And that helps a lot.
That's, thank you for sharing those with us. Uh, Dr. Elizabeth, you know that right now the mosque is closed for the Jumu'ah prayer, and the Jumu'ah prayer is our big congregational prayer every week on Friday. We used to have 1,500 people. It's like 30 minutes. We pray, we listen to a sermon, meet each other, and then we leave. And you can expect the impact of making a decision or taking a decision that no, for your own safety and for the safety of the community, the safety of the city, this is not going to happen unless at least we know what's ahead of us. And this is the impact of turning people away from religious services. And you can understand, I would say understand feelings of our community dealing with that. So tell us, because you are having this kind of experience, you spent 30-year experience, what hope and the relationship. So what's your advice that you can tell to the management and your advice to the community members to deal with situations like that? And how can hope and faith get together in this particular situation?
Yeah, I mean, it's so true for so many different denominations, to be honest, that we're most often thinking about how do we draw people forward? How do we help them identify the role of faith in their lives? And in all kinds of different traditions, really, it doesn't matter. People are trying to figure out, how do I go deeper? How do I hold on? How do I believe in something that's bigger than myself or this particular time and place in a way that can appreciate something more? So for some people, that's nature. For some people, that's mindfulness. It can be a lot of different things. And at this time, for religious congregations like yours, where you have to actively be saying, we can't meet together, we cannot come together in the ways that are most healing for us, I imagine is excruciating for the leaders in many different organizations. In fact, I know it is. So one of the things that I think I've been thinking about and hearing about and praying about myself is sort of thinking about these, what I think of as kind of crescendo moments in time. These kind of, they're like a cascade of emotions. And certainly I think we're going through these experiences now where it feels like one thing after another is being taken away. And we're being emptied over and over of connection, of family, of health, of security, of future plans we're uncertain about, all of these things. And at a certain point, it can feel like, what else is there? What else is there? I don't have anything left to give. And I don't know where my God or my spirit or my deeper self or whatever people call it, I don't know where that is anymore, because all I feel is empty and that I feel loss. And one of the things I was thinking about and reviewing it just in my memory, just to make sure I was being accurate about it, is trying to appreciate that in the deepest, most prayerful lives of people from all different traditions, it's actually when we individually and collectively and globally these days are the most emptied, as painful as that is, when we're living in the desert, when we're emptied of all sustenance, or so it feels. That's the time that we tend to feel like something's wrong. Maybe we've done something wrong. Why is this happening to me? What's going wrong? But if I step back from it enough, which I don't do nearly enough, but I'm invited to do with you today, is to think about it's actually at these times when it feels like we're empty and we have nothing left to give, that the greatest mysteries and the greatest learnings and the greatest and deepest changing for the better can happen in our individual lives in ways that we wouldn't have expected. And I think that's the case for most people. We wouldn't necessarily stand up now and say, please give me more emptiness. You know, I haven't had nearly enough. Most people I know won't do that. But if we can try, as we're going through the sufferings and the confusions, to remember that these two are sacred places, I actually think that in and of itself can give us hope. There's a meaning to it, even if there's something we can't see or maybe won't see for a bit farther down the road, that all things get made new. They do. And as a community together, in whatever ways we can talk to each other in that language, I do think that is a major source of hope for people that can see the sacredness of the empty and the loss.
That's very nice. Yeah. And from that, I think in every moment, even like if we think that we are empty or we are empty, there is some spiritually fruitful opportunities. And here I would like to share with my community uh, a saying, hadith from our Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, when he says that whoever wakes up in the morning and his body is okay, معافى في بدنه, and his body is okay, he's healthy, and he's safe in his home and in his community,
Mm-hmm.
and literally, or have a food for just one day, as if he got the whole treasures of the universe. So just three things. If you feel your body is okay, you're healthy, you can go out of bed, alhamdulillah, and thanks God for that, and you feel safe. So this is another blessing that you have to look into. And you have a food just for one day. You don't have like to store food or like to
Yes.
fill your body with like stuff that others might need. If you have those three things for just one day, so you have the treasures for the whole universe. And this is stuff that we need to tap on during these tough moments and tough times.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
So, yeah, go on, Dr. Isbis, you have something you'd like to share? Yeah.
I think we hear a lot about we have to practice gratitude, and sometimes I think that can feel a little bit colloquial. I think it's really hard to think about when you're suffering that, you know, there that, oh, I should just be happy or I should just appreciate the things I have. What you just said is so meaningful because it's in the midst of the agony of the suffering and the confusion and the uncertainty. It's not dismissing that in any way, but it's remembering down deep the things that we do have, the connections with each other, the food, the health for this one day, the look in your children's eyes. And even if you've lost someone dear to you, remembering that their memory is beloved and that the community shares in your loss with you. And that is something that we get to hold on to. It really is, as you say so beautifully, I think, through our pain in the eyes of suffering, remembering that there is always something. And if we can't feel it today, we can try it on as if. And if we can't do it today, we can try again tomorrow. And we can remember that we're all trying the same way together.
And I would share one thing from someone who had COVID-19 and he was cured. Thanks God for that. He said that I never thought of two things, two senses. He lost the sense of smell and sniff. He doesn't like any kind of food tastes the same, and he doesn't like smell anything. So even like if something is burning, he doesn't smell that. And after that, he's now cured, he's home, he's healthy. You see that there are so many blessings and bounties that he has, even under the word of being healthy, that we are not aware or we're not like paying attention. So just by having this during these tough times, I think this will give us some hope to navigate during the next period. So I would like to ask you, I know that I have tons of other questions, but most likely I would ask you to join me for one more time, but I would like to ask to close on a positive note. So with all things that's happening, how can we think about what we gained, what we learned during this unexpected hardships? And it's hardships.
I do think that's a wonderful way to think about it, is there are certain things that we have gotten from this that we wouldn't have signed up for. But when we look together, we can see that maybe we've had an opportunity to spend more time with family. Maybe we've had an opportunity to have solitude in a way that we wouldn't have wanted or thought we needed, but has actually been intuitive and enriching. And you know, I've heard it said, like, nature is so important. Maybe we can't walk out and go to a garden. Maybe we can't go or travel to a place that has beauty right in front of us all the time. But most of us can walk outside or look out a window and look at a flower or look at a branch on a tree and see that in a new way. We can see things in a new way that are all around us that we just walk right by most of the time. And so taking heed of those smaller things in whatever way they're available to us brings us back to calm and brings us back to gratitude and openness and appreciation. And those are the places where hope has the best chance of meeting us in our deepest selves, in my opinion. I believe that.
Thank you very much, Dr. Liz. I really appreciate that. It's a very deep, enlightened conversation. And I think I can like ask you live on air if we need you in another episode to talk about the blessing, the gratitude mechanism. How can we cope with that? How can we understand our emotions? What emotions are there? And how can the unprofessionals, friends, can help each other? And when to rate, say that no, this is the sign that we need. You need a professional help. So something like that. So we need a commitment from you to show us in another episode. Thank you very much, Dr. Elizabeth. I really appreciate your time, and thank you for being with us. Thank you.
Oh, it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. Thank you.
Bye.